So it's been about a year or so since I've done a projector video on this channel. In terms of the projector itself rather than the screen or other things. And I really love projectors, have for a very long time. So today I'm going to dive a little bit deeper into this. This is the Dangbei Mars Pro. It's a 4K projector, laser light source. I'm really looking forward to showing you this, but also comparing it to a similar maybe priced capable LED projector. So without further ado, the Dangbei Mars Pro. Hey folks, welcome back to techgooch, and today, like I said, the Dangbei Mars Pro. It's a 4K projector. I am coming at this from a person that has owned and has used a XGIMI Horizon Pro 4K projector for quite a while now. That's an LED light source, so nowhere near the brightness capability that this guy has. The Horizon Pro to come into is an LED light source, 1500 lumens I think is what the rated on it is. And I am doing this on a Cine Gray screen, so 110-inch Cine Gray, so it is ambient light projecting, but should make the colors pop a little bit more. And we're going to compare the Dangbei Mars Pro 4K. Now this is 3200 lumen capable. Now that's not to say it's going to put out 3200 lumens without cranking it to its brightest, which I'm not going to crank it to its brightest. Rarely ever do you need to do that, and you will wash out the dark colors if you do that. But that's what the capability of this projector is. Now, what I will say is if you have a screen like mine, I have, like I said, Cine Gray ambient light projecting screen. That tends to do better if you have a light sourced projector that has a little bit higher output. So this at 3200 definitely sits in that better for my screen realm than my XGIMI Pro, my Horizon Pro. And I've loved that projector, but this should operate like that, just much brighter, and then we can look at the color, things like that. I'm kind of stick with the stock settings on it, which I think it comes in movie mode, if I'm not mistaken. But without going any further into the specs and all this stuff, I'm going to roll it out where I'm going to show the same thing shown on both projectors, kind of going back and forth between the two, and then you can take a peek to see what you think, I guess. And we'll come back here to finish up. Okay, so here's my setup. I have the Dangbei Mars Pro down here. Directly above it, I have the XGIMI Horizon Pro. So this is the Horizon 4K version, right? So I'm trying to do as best I can. And Apple TV 4K going to this one, Apple TV 4K going to this one. I didn't change any settings other than that. We're going to compare the two side by side, playing the exact same content. All right, so I'm showing Apple TV's 4K wallpapers, or their screensavers. Right now I'm actually covering the lens of the Dangbei Mars Pro. This is my Horizon. Now we're going to go to the Dangbei. If I lift this and go and cover up that, we're showing the exact same content as close as I can, at least. And so you can see if I play both at the same time, it gets a little fuzzy, but you can tell between this is the XGIMI Horizon, which is an LED. Then we go to the laser, which is the Dangbei. You can definitely tell the difference in terms of the brightness capability. Again, Horizon, definitely darker. To the Dangbei, definitely brighter. And that's saying something. Now, of course, you may see some lines going through or some coloration. That's based on trying to get the aperture and stuff ready on my camera so it shows this as best as I can. But this is the Dangbei. This is the XGIMI. So you can see the difference there. And I know it's probably really dark. It's a little brighter to my eyes than it's probably showing on the camera just because of how I have the aperture settings on the camera. But you can definitely tell the difference. You're seeing a lot more of that shadow detail and stuff in the Mars Pro versus the XGIMI. So definitely brighter with the laser light source. So let's try a different scene. This is obviously snow-covered. Might be the Grand Canyon. Let's see here. Brunt Canyon of the Grand Canyon. Yep. So this is the XGIMI, and then if I bring up the Dangbei instead, you can definitely tell it's brighter. There's the XGIMI. There's the Dangbei. So there's your differences between an LED light source 4K projector. This one's the laser, I guess. This is LED light source. This is laser light source. a lot brighter, a lot more of the shadow detail that you're going to get out of the Dangbei right there versus like this is the XGIMI. But that's the difference between an LED and a laser. Let's do one more. This is a color, so this is a forest, or obviously trees, right? This is the XGIMI LED. This is the Dangbei laser. Again, XGIMI, Dangbei. One more, XGIMI, Dangbei. Now, I would argue that the XGIMI is a little more vibrant green, but I would also say that the Dangbei is actually maybe a little more true to life color there. And of course, that's color that you can change that with the settings, and I didn't change the settings on this guy, but that's pretty crazy. Now that's great and all when we're using the Apple TV, right? But let's see what the menu looks like. So you can see here, this is the main menu that's on the Android system for the Dangbei, which is a little bit different than my XGIMI. And this one does have a Netflix app. It's a little bit different than how I set it up, but once you get it on here, it does fully operate. The downside is, from what I can tell, it's not displaying 4K content. Now, again, to me, not a big deal, right? Because in all reality, I prefer to use my Apple TVs, my Apple TV 4K. I like using, or if I had an Amazon Fire TV stick, I prefer those devices than relying on the integrated device that's in the projector. However, if I'm going portable, if I take this with me, I can use it to play Netflix, YouTube, and of course the Google Play Store is there, so I can download more apps onto here should I desire. However, in my home or around my home, I am going to use the Apple TV 100% of the time. So that is something to bring up. I'll go up here to the settings. Right now it's just on my Wi-Fi, so it's actually, it does have Wi-Fi, but it does have an Ethernet connection as well. Focus is pretty cool because you can do autofocus, and I'll show you the autofocus. I'll click on that, it's focusing. Once it does its primary focus, then I can hit OK again. It'll actually go to the screen where it is doing it all by itself. I'm not doing anything. All I'm doing is pushing on the remote to tell it to do it. And then once it fine-tunes the focus, we're good. I can also do manual focus myself. I have not felt that I ever had to do this on this projector, so it works pretty good. There is keystone correction, and they have automatic correction and manual correction. I found the manual or the automatic correction to be okay. Maybe it's a starting point. Nowhere near as good as my XGIMI projector for its auto keystone correction. So pretty much every time I do the manual and get my corners exactly, and I can move these around and then click, hit enter and go to the next corner, enter and go so forth, and then hit back when I'm done. Right? After you do the keystone correction, it's always best to go back to focus and refocus your projector, and so the focus is the last thing you do. But I always start with the focus, that way it's pretty much in focus, and then do the keystone correction. But if you're not going to move the projector, you should only have to do that really once. In the projector, it just has mounting options. Right now I just have it sitting on a table, so that's floor mount, but you can do ceiling mount and as such. Oop, I must have hit the button there. There is Bluetooth, so you can attach accessories, so headphones or things like that, all right there. In this case, it has just the internal stuff for its audio out. Picture, right now we're in movie mode, so we can even get brighter than we already are. So that's something that you can do. Movie mode, has a little better colors. That's probably why the trees looked a little more accurate in all reality. Let's go back down, let's go to sound. This does have actually some pretty decent built-in speakers, but there is outputs as well, so you can do ARC output or as well as just use the internal speakers. However, you can also do digital rather than just standard audio out. So that's there. Inputs, it does have two inputs on the projector, two HDMI inputs, one that has ARC support, one that does not. And then you can say what the home page is, plug and play HDMI, game modes, HDMI control, you turn that on and off, all device power off, which is always handy if you're gonna use that. So CEC capability. There is a screensaver, it looks like, and dynamic, static, got it, okay. And system. Date and time, so the standard system stuff, and then reset. So I didn't want to go through everything, but I did want to go through the basics. Oh, look at that. It's even giving me a preview of my input, which, yeah, it's even live. Oh, that's pretty cool. I didn't notice that before, to be honest. I never really paid attention, so I can actually preview this and make sure that's what I wanted to go to, because you can see there's two inputs, HDMI 1, HDMI 2, so that's pretty cool. Looks like, oh, they even show you the memory release. I didn't actually pay attention to this part. So that's pretty cool. The Dangbei Mars Pro is a pretty cool projector, and it has a good amount of light to it. I guess one of the biggest things is it's definitely a brighter projector for the size and capability that it has. So upon use between the two, I am not going to say great things, I really am not, about the operating ecosystem that's on this projector. I kind of hinted at maybe towards the end of the video there. However, I'm not a big fan of the operating function of the smart features. I'll be honest as I can, I'm not a fan of most smart features that are built into projectors. I would much rather have a Fire TV stick or an Apple TV or Chromecast or something like that. Personally, I like those ecosystems. They are built, and that's, those devices are built for those specific ecosystems. The smart systems that they always throw in these projectors or smart TVs. I'm not a fan of using the smart TV features. I like throwing my own device that I enjoy and something that I can replicate no matter what brand of display or projector that I have. That's me. I understand that's not everybody. That said, you throw the same source into this versus my XGIMI. This one has, out of the box, without messing around with things, colors tend to be a little more accurate, a little less punchy maybe, but a little more accurate. And of course the brightness brings out those shadow features that you don't necessarily see in an LED projector that just doesn't have the horsepower that this does with the light source that it has. Laser projectors, they heat up a little bit more, so this one gets a little warmer than my XGIMI, and the fan, I think, is a little bit louder than my XGIMI, which I really wasn't showing on the video, but I had both of them running, so it's really hard to show you. Is it abnormally loud? No, not at all. And just like my XGIMI, this has built-in speakers. So if I was not using the speakers that are built into my home theater setup, and the reason I like having these type of projectors is I'm not limited to leaving it in that room. Even my XGIMI Pro, which I have, my Horizon Pro, it's mounted on the ceiling. I have it on a quick release mount that I just loosen, pull the projector down, throw my feet back on, and I can take it with me camping or wherever I want to take it. That is a huge benefit to me, as well as having built-in speakers that I don't have to bring a sound bar or something else with me. This is hook up the power and go if I really wanted to. I'd have to use the internal smart features if I didn't want to plug something else into it, bring something else along. But in all reality, if you have a Fire TV stick, nice small little guy, plugs into the back here, plugs into the USB to power it, so I don't even have to have a second power plug or anything. That's a big benefit. And so the XGIMI Pro versus the Dangbei Mars Pro, they're, like I said, they're very similar in a lot of things other than the light source. Yeah, the smart features, things like that are a little bit different. But all in all, this sitting at $15.99 is what it sits at. Right now you can get it for, I think, $260 coupon they have on it right now. Now that changes, but you can get this guy for a pretty good deal. And for a 3200 lumen projector, 4K output, it's a great projector with good quality audio built in. This is a standalone box that you can just go with it, and it works quite well. I really do like it. So that is my take on the Dangbei Mars Pro. That's not going through every little thing. On the back here, there's a LAN input, so I don't have to use Wi-Fi. I can hardwire this into my Ethernet. Has a digital optical audio output. Has two HDMI inputs, like I said before. Two USB inputs as well, so if you had media on a USB stick, or if you just need to power a device, or in case actually when I was doing this video, I was charging my Apple TV remote because it was about dead. And then it does have a 3.5 millimeter audio out in addition. One of those HDMI outs also has the audio return channel. So that is the Dangbei Mars Pro. I will say this, underneath here, the feet do screw out quite a bit, so you can change the angle by just unscrewing maybe the front feet versus the back feet and setting it how you want. Also, you can remove, there's, I should say, a 1/4-20 mount right here in the center of the projector. You just have to make sure you have a really good sturdy tripod to use that. But if you're going to use a mount that you're going to mount the projector up on the ceiling, you remove all 4 of these feet and that's where the screws for your projector mount go into, is those 4 feet locations rather than the 1/4-20 in the center. So that is the Dangbei Mars Pro. I have a lot of good things to say about this projector, specifically at the price point that it's at, the quality of the video you get out of it, the brightness. The brightness is a huge thing because it is bright. It has a solid brightness to it. Now, if I was to compare this to XGIMI's automatic keystroke correction, something like that, I think they do better on that. But in all reality, the quick setup is good, and then I can fine tune it real quick with the remote. It doesn't take very long. The remote is pretty basic. It's just a plastic, cheaper remote, nothing too crazy. So there is that. But all in all, solid projector, good quality audio, good quality video. And what else is there to ask for a projector in a decent price point? So if you have any questions or comments, post those below in the comment section. Let everybody know what you think. If you've used one of Dangbei's projectors in the past, hey, blurt it out there. Let them know what you think. But like, comment, share, subscribe, and be sure to come on back here to techgooch. I'm hoping to do more projector videos in the future now that I have a really good setup to do my full testing. So thank you for watching to the end of this video, and we'll catch you back here on techgooch for another future video review. See you soon.